Well, hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome to my overview of Level 0 Extraction. For those not across it, I do overviews on this channel. I have a look at the first 2 hours of a game. That's the Steam refund window. Steam says you can make up your mind about a game in that time period, and I would generally agree and say 20 hours in, often you're not going to change your mind about how you felt 2 hours in. So it's a short punchy video, keep it under 10 minutes, give you the broad strokes info, and then you can make up your mind on your own. Okay, so Level 0 Extraction. I played a previous build of this, some sort of pre-release beta sort of thing, and I enjoyed aspects of it. Straight out of the gate, I just want to be clear, and we all suffer from it, self included. There is a time where you want a game to be good. You might like aspects of it and you want it to be good, but sometimes maybe it's not in other areas. So I think the aesthetic and the design of this game is phenomenal. I really like science gone wrong, you know, research facilities, alien stuff, that sort of thing. I think this entire world building design is one of the coolest things I've seen all year, and I love it. And I want it under the hood to be a fun game, but the problem is, a really big singular problem, is the gunplay in this is not very good. Now, at first blush, given the design of this, you know, scientists experimenting on aliens and then the mercenaries go in to extract, and, you know, there was an opportunity for it to lean more science, and I don't know how else to describe it, but less gunplay. But I can compare from my time with it today and the time previous on the beta, it seems that they're moving more towards gunplay, and yet their gunplay model feels either floaty and clunky because it's not very well designed, or it's intentionally designed to do that, which I think may actually be the issue because of the nature of the PvP in this. You're playing, you know, as a team of mercenary contractors. You can be like in a 3-stack. I think there can be 12 human players, so 4 stacks. And then there's 2 aliens running around. But I think to make it maybe more fair on the aliens, because of that asymmetric interplay, it is very cumbersome and floaty. There's an inertia to the point where I find it unpleasant. And for reference, you know, in recent times, while I don't play a lot of these games, I give a lot of them a go, like Grey Zone Warfare, I really liked that. Once it got over the initial launch performance issues, very tight gunplay, fantastic fun. I put dozens of hours into it. And even the inertia that got introduced in Tarkov didn't really frustrate me that much. It seemed necessary to slow the game down. But same sort of problem, a design principle designed at hobbling the players because the players are doing something you don't like. And I feel like that's here. So that's just touchstones, right? If you don't like the inertia that got put into Tarkov, this game will drive you nuts. And it cuts both ways, to be honest, because I played as the monsters or the aliens or whatever, and even then, it's just a bit of a shit fight when it comes to the melee attacks and all that. Now look, I'm not trying to bash on it, but I have come out of the gate leading with that big negative, because you might be someone like me. You might look at this and go, I'm really excited. And I suppose, yeah, to be honest, I'm a bit disappointed. It's not that it got worse, you know, it's not like I didn't already have expectations going in, having played the previous build. But like I said, tracking from those 2 builds, they've made it seemingly more gunplay. There seems to be more gun focus. There is the advantage, I suppose, you get a free kit before each run, which is cool. As in, like, you just press the button at the beginning of the raid, it'll give you whatever it's called, the nail gun, the little machine pistol thing, 2 mags, a box of flares, and a box of glow sticks. It's like, okay, well that's good, because then you're not hatchet running or, you know, going in naked, whatever you want to call it. But it also kind of highlights a bit of an issue. If they have to give you all this starting equipment, you are pushing an arms race. Every single dude has a little machine pistol no matter what. And it sort of makes you go, well, what do you think about your game design if they need that stuff to go in? They apparently have introduced like Australian servers, so it's not what I would say is a lag thing, because I couldn't quite put my finger on it in the previous build, and that's why I went a little more gentle, I suppose you could say, because it was still beta. Beta often is about working out netcode, but I would say given the addition of the servers and still the way that it feels, I don't think it's a lag or a performance issue. I think it's intentional. I think they've intentionally made their characters very weighty, and it runs to the detriment of the game. Now, besides all that, I've covered, the world building or world design or whatever, which is fantastic. You've got the asymmetric component. There's not a lot of incentive to play the aliens other than just to be a miserable person or to wreck other people's fun. It's all right, I get that. That's cool, but it is interesting when you impose, there's a whole shop system with leveling and reputation, all this crap that's been copy-pasted from Tarkov-like games, and ultimately you just sort of level up your alien and then cash it out. It feels half-baked. There is obviously a certain appeal to playing the alien. When you die, you respawn. There's a little leveling mechanic within the game. But it does actually feel at odds where, arguably the Tarkov extraction shooter, whatever you want to call them, there is an RPG kind of progression mechanic to them, right? You buy gear, you level up vendors, you have this meta progression. And it just feels very strange having that imposed against what is essentially like just a run-based alien antagonist for the sake of an antagonist that doesn't really evolve or change or level up. And even inside the run, you've got all your abilities. You just unlock them over time as you harvest pickups on the map. It feels like two different games smashed together, and it's a little jarring. So yeah, look, again, disappointing, I suppose, sure, but some people are probably going to really, really love this. I feel like if you're someone that's into extraction, looter shooter, Tarkov type games, this is not going to get you to change from whatever it is that you play. And if you're someone like me that maybe wants to see different, unusual stuff like Grey Zone as well, there's things like Grey Zone still exist. This, even though I'm absolutely in love with the aesthetic here, it's not really enough to make me want to invest dozens of hours. Not when every combat kind of just feels like elbows only and kind of messy. And then on top of that, yes, it's early access, but I'm obviously quite firm on early access. If you're going to ask me for the price of your game, you better give me a game of some sort, not a skeleton bloody elf build. And as far as all the missions and that sort of stuff that you do, like they're on a cooldown rotation, go collect crap for old mate, but there's no story, there's no investment. It is all very, stick it in the script machine and spit something out that tells me to go pick up a pocket watch from Sector A or whatever. Maybe they do more with it. You can't deny, I think the environment design is top notch, but that's kind of it. I sound like I'm going particularly hard on it, but that's not really the intent. And again, I don't think the intent of early access should be, here's a cool looking thing with a few ideas. If you give us 2 years and feedback, we'll turn it into something interesting. It shouldn't be that, man. It should be, here's pretty much a feature complete game. We need more funding to get over the line and a bit of testing. That's what early access is. And whatever this is at the moment, this feels like a whiteboard of an interesting idea with the alien extraction component and a whole bunch of sticky notes from all the other games they've drawn inspiration, and they've stuck it all in the blender and pressed go. And what's come out the end is, just sort of, a mush puree with no real unique identity other than an unpleasant combat system. Anyway, they're my thoughts. Team, might just leave it there for the time being. I'll catch you guys on the next one.